Pastor David had developed a better way of keeping in touch with God while he meets with people during the day. He was wondering how some mega-church pastors were able to keep up with their work schedules and still find time to pray, until God opened his eyes to the life and ministry of Jesus, and how he spent his nights praying and ministering to people during the day. He faced another challenge, balancing the ministry with his family life, as he began to see the effects on his wife and daughter. Before then, they were a little family always in each other's company, a lifestyle that seemed to be disappearing by the day. It was either his phone ringing or a knock on the door until he decided to remove his cell number from the church materials and replace it with the church phone number, which is always on Becky's table. He could not thank God enough for sending Charles and Becky into the ministry, which had helped a lot, but there seemed to be a need for him to train leaders, which would add to his workload but would help to ease his burden with time. Suddenly the caliber of people God was sending his way proved to him that training would be the best way forward. He thought about the man who just left his office and the confession he made and the counsel he had to give him, and he knew that, if they could all agree to be trained, the work would go very far in no time. The kinds of things he had heard from most people that asked for his counsel since the study started, he had not heard such things in all his life of ministry, and looking at their profile, he had to trust God to counsel them. He had also disciplined himself not to share everything with Rose as he knew she would definitely not be able to handle certain information. He was still trying to commune within himself to be certain if he gave the right counsel to Mario Brown when the intercom rang and Becky told him Tom Piken is outside waiting. "Tell him to come in," he told her as he adjusted his tie. There was a knock on the door and Tom walked in. "Hello, Pastor," he greeted as he approached the table. "Hello, Tom," Pastor David said as he stood to shake his hand. "I am blessed and happy, Pastor," he said, taking his seat opposite him. "I am happy about that," Pastor David said. "I just can't thank God enough for what he used you to do in my life. I was a broken man, using work to suppress the pain and hurt life had inflicted on me, but since I had the encounter with Christ, it was like I was in a new world," he said, adjusting himself on the chair. "That is what is called born again. You cannot experience it genuinely and not see the difference," the pastor said with a broad smile on his face. "So what is a bit of this and that you said you do?" "I am a private detective," he said. "Oh," the pastor exclaimed, raising his eyebrow. "I have a long story, Pastor, but I will not bore you with details. I can see you are very busy," he said, strengthening up. "Spit it out. I am not in a hurry for anything other than to see lives transformed," Pastor David said as he sat back to listen. "Pastor, I have never enjoyed my relationships. My past 2 marriages ended up in bitter divorce, leaving me with almost nothing in the last one. I have been an alcoholic and have been in and out of the crack house as a result, which led to the complete denial of access to my daughter. I have not been a happy man for years until I came to the church for the Bible study." He paused and cleared his throat before he continued. "I'd really want to have a woman again, but I am scared to death of another breakup. I don't really think I can handle any other." "So what do you want me to do?" the pastor asked. "I need anything that will make me ready to keep a wife, and apart from that, getting someone that I can share my new life with, but somehow I also think I need to grow in this Christian experience," he said, looking at Pastor David. "Yeah, I think the first thing in your case is to grow up in the faith so that you can be able to make the right choice. Marriage is a very sensitive thing. It becomes very complicated when either party involved has experienced divorce, and this is the very problem most marriages are facing, especially in America. I will suggest you put more energy into growth, and I will be praying for you to meet that woman that God has prepared for you. Talking about growth, I had it in mind to enroll for the leadership training you announced in the Bible study," he said with enthusiasm. "Good place to start," the pastor said, strengthening up on his chair. "Thank you, Pastor, and one other thing. Please join me in praying that I will be allowed to see my daughter. It hurts me so much that I can't see her." "Okay, I will, and why don't we do that right away?" "I will appreciate that," Tom said, seating forward, with his head bowed. Pastor David prayed about everything that concerned Tom Piken, asking God for guidance in every area of his life.